All right, so it's time to work on this. Got the cover down. I need to take the fixture off, and then from there I can start ripping some of the drywall off. I probably need to remove this door so that I can cut it open into the wall and get to all this stuff. It'd be easier because the stair stringer is blocking stuff on that side. So it'd be easier to get to it from this side and from the front. I need to run out to the garage and grab a couple tools and get that fixture down and start getting some of the stuff open. I think because they did a plumbing repair in here and they got to it, they tell they ripped out the drywall and stuff to get into there. So I think this ugly stuff I can just pull off and set it aside, and then be able to tear out, do what I need to do without having to futz with the countertop too much. And you see I got a pile of lumber. I'm using 2 LVLs. They're basically essentially 2x12s, and I'm going to sandwich them together and use that for my beam. The existing thing is 3 2x10s, so this should be stronger, especially since one of those 2x10s is not supported at all by the studs. And then the existing setup is 1 stud going all the way up to the plate there, and then 2 holding up the beam. I'm going to change that over to 2 and then 3 for more support for everything. So I guess time to grab some screwdrivers. So there's the mesh here in this corner, the old school drywall corner bead. And then right below that is this gas line. So I have to be really careful about how I do this. I think ultimately I'm just gonna take a grinder and slice on this side of the mesh and then try to pull that out from the top side. Not up, but just pull from here down and see if I can't get it out that way. But first I'm gonna just take the rest of this drywall off and part of that corner and down that wall. So here's an interesting bit of framing. The support 2x4 is coming up. There's 2 of them. Well, there was 3, but as I took that corner bead out, it actually ripped most of the third one out. But there's 2 of them. But then this door header is attached to what? Maybe it's nailed in from this way? I don't know, but it's just maybe a 1/4 inch was sitting on the original 2x4s. And then this third beam, which is not being supported at that end at all, is notched and sitting on top of it. Since I'm eliminating that third beam, that doesn't matter to me, but I do need to, I guess, do something about this. But that'll be, I gotta get the beam first, all this support stuff replaced before I worry about what to do with this. Obviously this has to get replaced. It's termite eaten, so I'm gonna have to cut up more of this door. But I don't know if that's a project for now or for later. But either way, I gotta get this done. I should probably figure out, well, I gotta cut open this now. Go along here and get away from there, and I got to do the same thing on this side. That way I can get to the top plates, because those got to be replaced as well. And my guess is right now I could probably grab this whole beam and literally just rip it out. It's pretty unimpressive. So I've removed all the corner stuff, clearly freehanding. I did not create a straight cut at all. I'll need to recut that. As much as I don't like using, well, I like the grinding wheel because it's the perfect tool for this job. I just don't like the amount of dust that it created. But as you saw, a lot of that got sucked up. I have the gable fan running, so that just kind of gets sucked up and shot out the roof of the house. But anyways, this is open, this is wobbly. I mean, it's doing nothing, so I'm free to remove this. I was wondering where I was gonna tie in with the top plates over here, but it turns out that's not an issue because they just kind of end there. So I need to fish that wire out of the top plates, and then I can go ahead and remove all that. I think I'm gonna let this kind of hang out in the open and see what happens as I tear everything else out. And then I can actually start putting something together, which would be kind of nice. All right, so that didn't come out as cleanly as I'd hoped. I'd hoped it would come out in more like solid pieces, but it definitely came out pretty easy. So the next step is to pull some of this stuff out. It looks like they nailed from the other side into here. So this I don't have to do a whole lot of fussing with. I can just kind of leave it alone and it should just stay there. But time to remove these 2x4s, the spacers, which I'm not gonna put back. The beam will go directly against the new top plates, and then I can figure out what to do about the electrical there. So on this side of the top plate, we have a wire running through it as well, but this is the one that goes up to that light up there. So, and this is the input to it, which does not run through the top plate. It's run ridiculously, but not through the top plate. So I can disconnect this from the switch and pull it up through and just kind of tuck it up in here. And then when the new top plate is in, drill a hole, pop it through, call it good. This side I haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, but that's what I'm going to start on right now. And then I can rip this out, and I need to find my Sawzall. This piece of wood is gone, the bottom plate, but I do need to cut out a bit of the bottom plate over here so I can replace it while I'm replacing everything else. so I got all that out. I think I'm gonna leave this for well, I should just remove it. I should just do it. But anyways, I got all that out. It's a real bitch because of the nails coming from the rafters down, and it's old wood, which doesn't really like to, it's not soft these days. It's not as easy as new wood. But I think what I'm gonna do is use the grinder, slice off the nails. That'll be the easiest way to deal with them. And then I'm just about ready to start reassembly. Just deal with this little thing, and then we're good to go. All right, so I have top plate in. I think for the wires, I'm just gonna sneak them around the end there where the vent is for the sink. But the two top plates are in. They don't quite fill the gap here, which is interesting, but that's okay. And I misaligned that, that's no big deal. This whole 2x4 will get replaced. I don't have one right now, but I have just what I need for this part of the project. But so the next step is to take the two LVLs. Well, there's a couple things. I need to figure out exactly how long the LVLs need to be. I'm thinking I can maybe cheat this a little bit by bigger opening, but I don't really care if it's bigger. But either way, I need to figure out how long the LVLs need to be. So to do that, I need to figure out where the two studs are gonna go for here, which I think maybe one right underneath there. The two studs go all the way to the ground, and I need to figure that out on this end. Once I figure that out, I can measure, cut the two LVLs, and then nail them together to make one beam, and then lift them into place, jack them up, and actually attach everything, and then do the studs that hold the beams themselves up. So that's the next step. Let's do some measuring. All right, so they're cut down. It's a good thing. I was just gonna take 4 inches off the end, and then I decided to throw the tape measure on the other way. It turns out they were 121 inches long, not 120. So I guess double check your numbers on those when you're using these, because they gave me an extra inch. But either way, they're cut. I got a bucket of nails. Bob's instructions were a shit ton of nails or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Throw a shit ton of nails in this thing, and my arm will probably be limp by the time I'm done, but it's laid out so then I can lift it up into place, get the jacks under it, and maybe have a flat floor by the end of the day upstairs and a nice flat ceiling down here. All right, so it's nailed from both sides. So now it's time to lift it into place. I think what I'm gonna do is just loop these right over the headers and right around the thing, just make a loop and bring it up that way. That should give me enough room to wiggle it around, get it centered on the lines there, and then be able to leave the jacks under it, hold it in place, and then get some studs in. so I got that up, it's in place. The safety straps are snug. It's tipping a bit at the bottom out to the side, but it's also at this point lifting the top plates higher than the original ones. So the next step is to get these studs in. I need to put a piece of wood there. I need to put a piece of wood there, the bottom plate. I need to do the same thing on the other side. I think I'll just use the grinder and slice out a little bit of that carpet section. And then from there, I can get the first stud in and get it down, and that can screw into the end, screw a nail, and then that should be able to straighten this back out. Basically set it up there first, and then come down here and get it in the right spot, and then that should straighten that right on out. Well, holy fork and shirt balls. I got the thing in there. I'm exhausted, but basically, as you saw, put the stud in, stud. It's all holding in place. I went a little bit long and had to notch this for the gas line here, but the gas line is definitely secure now. It's kind of snugged in there. I need to make a shim for here. Actually, I probably have some laying around, but yeah, basically get that weight back on there. Same thing with over here. Snug this up over here somehow. But yeah, the thing's in. So the next step, I'm done today. I'm exhausted. So tomorrow is a lot of cleanup, but also I got to remove all this stuff. As tempting as it is to just pop a screw out and then hit it with a hammer until it comes out, I'm gonna jack it back up, remove everything properly, and set everything back down nice and gently. No sense in setting a shock load to my brand new beam. But that's it, it's in. So like I said, tomorrow's just mostly cleanup. Oh, for this, I just tagged in this to hold it. I ran out of screws. This is the last of the screws. But I just tagged this in to take the weight off of that. All that, we already knew all of that was termite damage up there. Those are the ones at the top of the stairs. So basically this whole corner has to come out and basically rebuilt. So that's a thing I gotta do. That'll actually happen sooner than later. Because I need to replace the joists in the ceiling. That's my next framing task. And that's it for the week. This thing is in, it's up, it's doing good. I'm gonna take a while to figure out what I'm gonna do about the drywall. As I said, I have to cut open some of this and find out what's going on in there. I got joists to replace up there, so a bunch of this drywall has to come down anyway. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about patching yet. I do have to secure the gas pipe right there. Probably a couple other places just for safety. And then probably put a 2x4 or something against it to step out the drywall away from the gas line. But as far as this week, that's done. It took about 3 hours of cleaning everything from the basement all the way on up to the hallway upstairs to get all the dust out of here. I need to secure these lines and this outlet. I removed the light and the light wiring and everything from here and the switch. And while I was in there, I also replaced the outlet with a new one. That'll just kind of stay like that for a little while. But yeah, it's I need to close up the wall over there. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty solid. As you saw, I could grab the old beam and literally just wiggle it back and forth. This one, you can hit it with the big hammer and you just hear a thud. Pretty happy with it.